when you do your eyeshadow and your makeup, but you can't show it off because you gotta wear glasses. You can't wear contacts because you can't afford it. And your parents didn't just let you wear contacts. Oily skin gang, where are we at? Why do you keep on slipping? My phone's slipping like your wig slipping. Man. Oh my gosh, one thing is God. Okay. So okay. For real this time. Welcome back to my YouTube channel, guys. I'm gonna be trying to be as professional as possible because this is going on the internet. I'm professional, people are gonna see this. And I'm professional. I promise. Okay, so for real. This video is a story time about the time that I applied to college and failed miserably. I'm kidding. It's just my college experience. I want you guys to know what happened to me so you guys don't make the same mistakes. And as the eldest child of 5 kids, I'm the first one going to college in America. And you know, the experience does vary from person to person, but sometimes, you know, having that guidance, that direct guidance is really suitable and really good, you know, because you can ask questions immediately without feeling like you're bothering the person if they're right there, like they're like a family member or a sibling. I didn't really have that. So I did rely on other people like schools, teachers, counselors, some of my college friends, but it wasn't really the same. So I did some things that I shouldn't have. And please keep in mind that I was a good student in high school. I took all the AP classes possible that you could think of, from art history to from like all the weird ones that you wouldn't really expect someone to take, like someone who's not interested in those things to take. But I took them anyway because I really wanted to like have a good GPA for college. And I took an SAT prep class, so I did pretty okay on the SAT. I didn't take the ACT. I used the SAT, the new one. So I really wanted to push on my extracurriculars, my volunteering, and my GPA, which is why I took so many AP classes. I took 7 my junior year and 8 my that's a lot. 8 my senior year, which seemed normal to me because my school, like, everyone took AP classes. It didn't seem weird until like I told other people at camps and stuff that I went to, and they were like,
"Sis, you took 7 in 1 year? I took 7 combined in all 4 years."
And I was like, oh, okay. So I started feeling a little bit better when I was applying because I was like, that definitely does stand out. And I was doing okay on the AP exams. I had passed most of them except for French. So let's just say this. If you can't say a sentence in French, don't take the AP French exam, because you will fail. Like, there's no question. You will fail the AP exam if you try taking an exam when you can't even say it in French. But yeah, so back to the story. So, alright, so I had visited lots of schools. No, I haven't visited a lot of schools. What happened is a lot of schools had been sending out, like, I guess, what do you call them, scouters or something, to like college stations, to high schools, to talk to the students during lunch period and stuff. So whenever I would go by, I would stop and talk to them. And the guy I talked to, he was from FAU, one of the main guys, and he just really genuinely liked my sister and I because we're twins, and he thought it was pretty cool. So whenever he'd get tired of advertising, he'd talk to us. I didn't really think much of going to Florida, just because I was like, that's pretty far. I don't really think my parents would, want me to go that far. So I didn't really look into that. But I did talk to a lot of the nearby state schools, like Oklahoma. And I really wanted to go to the north. That was another thing. Like, even if that was far, I felt like since I have family up in the north, it was a little bit more, I guess, suitable for my parents. I looked at University of Minnesota. I looked at, what else did I look at? Oh, George Washington University, I think that's what it's called. Oh, University of Missouri, Tulane University, Tulsa University, Oklahoma, all the Texas schools, obviously, Baylor, UT Austin. Oh, one thing was with UT Austin, at the time, they were only accepting the top 7%. And I think I was top 9%. So I was really pushing my GPA. I was really hoping like maybe I could squeeze and get up there before. But you know, because of how competitive my school was, you had to be at like a 0.0001 could even make a difference. Like there could be like literally 5 people who have the same like approximate GPA. But because of that 0.000 decimal, that could really set them aside from if they get into the top 10 or top 7 or 8%. So that was my struggle going into senior year of high school. So the summer before senior year of high school, I wrote all my essays. I made sure that I had started all the essays for the college app, Common App. That was the main one. There was another one for Texas. The Texas app one. I also made sure let me bring my laptop out so I can double check. I can fact check the name of these websites. I'll give it to you guys.
1 eternity later.
Yeah, it was Common App, and then the Texas one is called Apply Texas. Okay, so I made a PDF, and I knew, okay, I'm gonna make a PDF based on my ranking of schools. So like, what's easy for me to get into, what will be mediocre. So like state schools, like not too easy, not too hard. Then I also did my hard reach schools, like the schools that are up there that I wasn't even sure if I had a chance, but I was like, it's worth applying. So that included like Case Western. That included, I think I even applied to Stanford, but didn't even finish the application. I didn't really want to look into Ivy Leagues at all because I felt like it was a waste of money. And they don't give scholarships. And there's 2 of us, there's my sister and I, so it wouldn't really be worth it going to an Ivy League school. It's expensive. I'm gonna try to pull up the PDF so I can show you some of the schools I applied to. But basically, after that whole experience, I was so desperate, and without even thinking, I was applying to lots of schools. I applied. Every day I was adding a new school to my list. Some schools had a free application, so I would add it on. I think University of Tampa. I would just keep on adding schools like crazy. Like I was addicted. I was checking my email every day because either I was getting notified from the school that my application had gone through. I was getting a random advertisement to apply to a school, and I would apply to it stupidly. And I was also looking at whether I got accepted or not to the school that I already applied to. Well, one thing I'm really happy that I did right is I applied early. I don't know if that makes a difference, but for me, I felt more comfortable because once I applied early, I was able to apply to the other scholarships and to start booking interviews. I was interviewing with lots of people. I remember there was a time I had an interview almost every day because I had reached out to Rice, I had reached out to University of Minnesota, I had reached out to Oklahoma University, Virginia Commonwealth, and Vanderbilt. Those 2, they had someone who come all the way to me, like a state representative who interviewed me. There was just like I was interviewing so much that I was like I can only go to one school at the end of the day. So you can apply to 60 schools. You can reach out to 60 schools if you want to do you, but like you're only going to one school. You can't get 3 schools at the same time. I didn't have a dream school. Let me just start off with that. I did not have a dream school because I told myself if I start limiting myself to one school and I start having a dream school, I will get easily disappointed and really disappointed if I don't get in. So I was like, think a little bigger. I overdid it. I dreamed a little too big. So what should have been like maybe 5 or 6 schools I could have been eyeing quickly became like 30 schools. A lot of the schools I also didn't even visit. I didn't visit any of the northern schools except for University of Minnesota because I had a camp there the year before. I didn't visit the school I'm in today. I didn't even visit it until I got here, until my very first day of school here. Just crazy to me. So I made a folder. After I made the Google Doc that had the list of the schools I wanted to go to, I made a folder, and that folder was supposed to be the essays I was supposed to complete. I gave myself a lot of work too because not only is it just like having money to apply, but also having time because each school might have additional essays or additional short statements that they want you to answer to. And because I already felt like I had already been interested in it, and for me, being interested was just like looking online for the school and seeing what they had going for them. Anything slightly interesting would apply to it. So, or anything slightly they would just say good pre-med program. That's really generic, but I wouldn't even look into that. I any further. I would just say, okay, good pre-med program, apply. So whenever it was time to answer the questions specific to the school, I was having difficulties trying to figure out what to say about each school. And then I had to do a lot more research and like figure out what is it about the school that genuinely I can find interesting, which is something you should do. If there's a school you found out about and maybe there's one thing about it that catches your eye, but you feel like that one thing isn't strong enough to show your representation of your willingness to go to that school, you can look more into it and look for something else that genuinely sparks your interest. Because if not, writing a 250 statement or even longer, 500 words sometimes, it's going to be a pain in the butt if you do not know what you're talking about. You have nothing to say. So I made sure that I looked into that, but doing it like 60 times was not fun. And for some of the schools, I think I even didn't finish the application for that reason. But a good thing is a lot of the applications, they make you repeat the same question. So like, what are you scared of? Or what are you, what's the biggest thing that you've accomplished that how did you overcome fear? Something like that. So once you write it one way, you can rewrite it for a different school. You can obviously use the same personal statement because it is one application. With that, I finished those and then I made a separate one for scholarships. So for the scholarships, by that point I was tired. I was like, I don't want to keep on writing essays. And whenever you come to scholarships, they're more specific. They're not just going to be like, what's your dream in life? It becomes more specific to like their stories sometimes. To, like,
imagine like something is happening and the world's coming to an end. Who would you help and why?
Stuff like that. And they were really specific. So I was like, oh God, like, how am I going to write this? And how am I going to do this 100 times? Because there were a lot of scholarships. And I knew I really needed scholarships to entice my parents to let me go to a school that was out of state. Because funny enough, I was getting accepted to almost all of them. I thought getting into college was like impossible. Like it was one of those things where it's like, if you get in, like you're lucky. I thought it was really hard to get into college. Even with my stats, like my scores weren't bad or anything, but I still was so so unsure. I didn't know. So I was like, I was hearing so much like, oh, it's really hard to get into the school. And even if you get in, like it's really hard to get even like one scholarship. A lot of schools give you a scholarship, to be honest, once you apply. If you apply on time, they'll probably give you like those like $1,000, $2,000 scholarship a year if your GPA is pretty good, your SAT score is pretty good. You don't have to be the 99th percentile to get a scholarship. I didn't realize that. Because there are scholarships for just your merit, and then there's scholarships for like competitive writing and competitive, sometimes in-person interviews or together. I hope you enjoyed this story time. And I know I gave off some information, but not complete information on what to do when you're applying. I can do a whole separate video on that. These are for my high schoolers. And if you have any questions, you can also DM me if you don't want to leave a comment. I always answer my DMs because I don't be getting that many. I could be getting like 2 or 3. But I hope you enjoyed this video. And if you're applying to college, just savor in all the moments that high school, senior year of high school has to offer. Don't freak out too much because you will get in somewhere, and most likely the place to get into is where you're supposed to be anyway. So yeah, learning moment. Subscribe and enjoy the video, the next video, because this video is over. Bye.
I ain't never had nobody do me like I ain't never had nobody show me all the things that you done show me in the special way I feel when you hold me.